burning off the putty mark with the hand torch instead of messing with that.
Yeah, that's why I always like those mini-seeds. Good for the lungs.
It'll melt in your hand.
It's a three-stage. It's actually called a Kobuki.
Good.
But
Okay.
it's one that I didn't really design. It's just one that I asked them to build, and they did. And they asked if they could name it after me. You can buy it fast.
Is that unbelievable or what?
Trying to get me down here in the summer.
No, it's string. Palm trees are not good. Yeah, palm trees. So big. Tiny is really hard. So he's got his arm covered up by a fancy sock. Oh, he's got a nose, Lars. I'm not Henry.
As he's moving the blowpipe back and forth, he's putting a little bit of pressure with the paddle on the nip of the mold to try to keep it.
And then also the space on the instant.
Yeah, once I got
backwards so that it will appear like that, and then I do an indentation where the knee joint will go. I use the back of this scoring knife, the butt end of it, and I put a hole up inside the bottom of the skirt. And it's like a mortise and tenon joint in wood. You can do a wood joint and you have to drill indentation and having the knee be inside. Did you say molecule? What? On the lining area from the knee down to the ankle.
He didn't hear you.
That's how I'll paint on the petals, one petal at a time, one leaf at a time. Okay, now it's hot, very hot. Great. Now, again, heat and pull.
I know he's like continuously trying to
I'm making a point to just go back and forth between sides because if I ignore one side and it's out of the flame for too long, it's going to crack. Let's put a little of this blue in. Mix it up a bit.
He's got a double pupil.
You know those double turtles.
He's seen double vision.
made by Jack Morgan.
Yeah!
That's called the starter bubble. On top of the bubble, that's called an overlay. So color is being added to the clear bubble. Now forming color. Notice every time he rubs it over the marble, it gets darker because it's cooling down. So the furnace is opened up. He's adding clear glass on top of his overlay color. Transparent side, all that clear. And the density of the color depends on how thin it's blown out. If you blow it out more, the color becomes lighter and thinner. It also cools down the piece at the same time. Every time you touch the piece to something, do you take it? Now he's stripping off some of the excess. And we're stripping off that oil. It boils immediately. It's just a pipe. I love it. Now the tool he's got in his hand now is called the jacks. And the jacks are used to be able to add lines to pieces and score areas.
My first on the floor somewhere.
No, not at all. There's a barrier. The only time you hurt your hands when there's a hole in the newspaper. Then you find out. Right now it's adding
hard to almost guess.
Clear red glass on top of this peanut. Now the fun starts. Constantly fighting gravity, that's why he's working from up and down. He's whistling down.
That's what I was wondering, is how big it is.
I mean, whatever it ends up with.
Okay, so he's adding another pipe on the collar.
I know, I'm already got both sides.
Slowly, and sometimes you have, depending on what the thickest piece is in there, you have like 10,
I think it's just it's kind of a void out now.
and you're thinking about thicker.
Santa Fe has something like 12 inches. In Albuquerque, there's really nothing.
So tomorrow, it'll be on display.
Sweet piece of marketing, putting them in the back corner of the events, like when they go to our shows and things like that.
I'm gonna try and get this over to
Summertime, it's just too damn hot here. And we have a little thermometer up on the wall. And when the needle gets over the bottom of 120,
I've always thought of glass as a material for building instead of just blowing it. And so in the 90s I did a lot of this kind of work. And I haven't made one of these in many years, but I thought it's a good crowd pleaser and it's fun to watch. And that's very cool.
And it has a burner, there's no glass in it. I'm serious.
No, it is. Because the ink doesn't come up.
Exactly. It will spontaneously check or break. So that Italian word comes from the word marble. Basically, for cutting glass. These are called diamond shears.
I'm still moving.
Those pieces on there. That stuff. Good. They're heavy mold, full optic mold, and if we want to put design, we're getting ready to put the first layer on tape. All reheating it, Tom can now go in and shape it exactly as he needs to shape it. Wrap, hold it. I was telling Ed that you go over there, and there are other demonstrations.
Kevlar gloves. They're cooling it down at the jack mark. Brakes right.
So that they're all stuck together. The Marines have to be soft in order to pick them up. If they're too cold, they won't. Wow. That burn correctly, they don't have a sap to them, and they burn evenly, and they're always kept in water. And when the hot glass gets into the block, it creates a layer of steam between the block and the glass, so that the glass doesn't actually really touch it. But it does eventually burn the block out over time. The block will burn out. He has newspaper so that he can use his hand now to shape the glass. And that's newsprint. Back home.
How about the New York Times?
News in the New York Times, then the Wall Street Journal. Now we're here. We measure the diameter. We've got a ways to go. We were blowing glass and did this. We didn't have calendars. We had to use pencil and paper, or hammer and chisel actually, back in the cave times. Actually, these techniques rarely existed back in the earlier days. These are techniques
piece that would be brought over. Okay. The bench. Cleaning the schmutz. That's a technical term now. That were picked up. It's an old glass technical term. The schmutz that was on the shelf is cleaning off the marines, so it doesn't affect them. You made those?
Right.
The answer is no, you cannot have that. The compressed air cools down so that it doesn't flop around. We'll chill it down and it'll crack right around that mark. So he's bringing now these marines down to the bottom of the clear part. The marines are coming right down to the bottom. It looks like a football when it comes off. I've lost track of the third group. 1962, Harvey Littleton, who was a potter, teaching at the University of Wisconsin. And actually Dale was studying fiber, weaving at that time. Dale's first piece was actually a fiber piece with glass woven into it. All right, this is the blowpipe going over that hole now. Really a pretty advanced technique, actually. It's the only glass studio in the country at a university or anywhere. And we all went to study with Harvey, and we all went out and started programs all around the United States, a number of us. And that was kind of the first wave. And then our students went out, and some of them got to work on glass fusing, and the Sonoran Glass Academy teaches those classes, and I would recommend, if you're interested in some or any aspect of glass, you go there and sign up for a class. The classes are very reasonably priced. We're generating from what you're paying to do Tucson youth in their lives out. So it's very important. And here's one of them, right here. Actually, two of them. They're still at risk, everybody.
Last dog saved my life.
No, last July I went to Chicago. They had the same thing. When you were in Wisconsin, you went to behind something.
Really?
It's gold luster the whole year round.
Yeah, I didn't figure those out.
Can you get an update on the management?
Yeah,
all right, he has that shape now, and he's going to let that begin to cool down so it really stiffens, maybe 15 pounds, but when he's holding it like that, it physics of it is such, it's on the end of a little thing, which are really collectible today because they're so rare. These little crude little things which we thought was the greatest thrills that we had thinking back to those times.
That was before the internet.
This is where he throws his rotator cuffs out and he gathers this. This is, I can't believe it.
He's really strong.
Yes, and stupid. Oh, God. Youth. Young.
The steam is what's doing it.
He's now using the edge of the marble to make a jack mark. He's going to go in the mold with that. He can't let it get too cold or else it really won't blow. So he's keeping it on center, and Louis is holding a paddle against his arm because the radiant heat from that piece would just burn his arm.
Left side.
It's going to be really cool.
I can't believe it. Here we go. He's got his hand over the end because he's trapped air in there and the hot blast is expanding the air and it's blowing itself. That's why his thumb is open. He put his thumb in his mouth and went and tapped off the These pieces will be at the auction in October. So if you bring your wallets with you and go to the auction, you can buy that. He's going to crack it off now. This is the final moment of truth. Bingo!